But if we might go back to another issue, I think, Michael, one of your objections to my advocacy of moving into forming our own trial juries was that we have no enforcement. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, what makes you think that that same argument doesn't apply equally against what you're advocating with the grand juries? The grand juries have no enforcement either.
You're saying grand juries have no enforcement?
Well, to an equal extent as trial juries don't.
Yeah, I would disagree.
Well, where do your grand juries get enforcement authority?
It's the statutory authority. It's given by the legislature and of the states. You get a grand jury to render a decision. They can demand an investigation, evidence, and
statutes recognize that same authority. Statutes recognize that same authority for trial juries.
Yeah, grand juries have been proven throughout the 2 centuries to succeed in rendering justice and fighting corruption. I mean, that's why I sent you that document.
I've looked at the document. I've seen the arguments before. I haven't read all 25 pages of it, but I don't see anything new in it. Is there something new that?
Well, if you haven't read it, how can you say that?
Because I've spent 30 years researching these issues.
Yeah, but if you haven't read that particular document, how do you have the ability to say it has nothing new?
Because people like you that have read it can't isolate specific passages that tell me where I'm wrong.
Well, I can't memorize all 25 pages, but there are several examples in there where a grand jury was used to overthrow a corrupt police chief, a corrupt boss Tweed, for example, in New York.
I've heard it all before. No doubt, much good work has been done by grand juries, but it's an inferior tool in our toolbox compared to the trial jury process that's embodied within the 6th and the 7th Amendment.
Okay, where are you going to get the money and the investigative resources to launch such a massive undertaking?
The undertaking is no more than 10% more burdensome than what you're talking about with your grand jury process.
Okay, how are you going to obtain the evidence through any kind of a subpoena power? You're going to need
we don't need the subpoena power. We're already drowning in evidence. We can already prove beyond a reasonable doubt that most of these cases are ready for judgment, final judgment right now. We've got sufficient evidence. The 911 issue, all of these things. We're drowning in evidence.
Okay, let's say I agree with you. What's your next step?
Well, first, get the sack of shit grand jury off the table so we can focus clearly on trial jury process and what the law provides us for enforcement and fundraising and what other issues we need without distraction from other things that are all screwing us up.
Let's say we do that. Let's say we table the grand jury effort. What do you propose to do next?
Well, the exact same plan, probably an even more powerful plan than whatever you were thinking of with the grand jury. We can approach legislators. We can approach de facto corrupted judges. We can do anything we want once we got that more powerful paperwork and community consensus behind us.
And where are you going to get the resources to do the investigations?
Same place that you're going to get the resources to do anything worth a damn from the grand juries.
The grand juries have the power and the money of the taxpayer.
So do trial juries.
Yeah, but you've got to gather the evidence yourself. If you're going to be the
we already touched on this. We're drowning in evidence. We already have probable cause to form the belief crimes have been committed. 911. We know crimes have been committed there.
Right. How are you going to get the enforcement?
See, you bounce around from issue to issue to issue. Once I get you in checkmate on one issue, you bounce around to another.